Yeah, I don't know, man. You ever just feel like life is just catapulting towards some greater purpose?
Average fat cats with bloated ego. We are the only DJ crazy enough to tattoo Jackie Brown on his ass.
This is Michael Mann, and I ride with
Extended clip.
Do you know about this? Do you know about ICE? In your opinion, you've been to Europe. You know about ICE.
They don't tip, and they don't give you real water unless you pay for it, and it's because of socialism. And I don't really know how that makes sense, frankly.
I'm so used to that American lifestyle. You know, you get a big gulp. I could get as much ice as I want, crushed ice. Exactly. You know, so much ice in my life.
Mm-hmm. Some people light ice. Light ice.
Some people are always like, "Oh, you gotta have light ice. You get more drink." It's like, what kind of cheapskate are you?
My dad would do that sometimes when getting like a McDonald's sweet tea, and I was so embarrassed. I'd be like, "Why are you doing this?" Like, it's
especially
just like
that because the sweet tea is stored at room temp. So that big jug of tea is going to be pretty warm because I remember
you need extra
sweet
ice
tea. Yeah, I was going to say I remember wanting extra ice when I got that sweet tea from McDonald's as a child.
Damn, I haven't gotten that in a while.
That's like a 48-ounce diabetes cup.
Exactly.
One of the gnarliest things I put in my body growing up was just gallons upon gallons of sweet tea. It's like, oh, it's like I'm from the South.
Yeah.
You know, I'm doing a little Sherman's March.
It's like tea. It's healthy.
I'm like a fucking trash humper here drinking my Arizona, you know?
I should have known, even at that age, that like the only drink at that time that you could get the biggest size for $1 for was the sweet tea. It's like, why is that the one drink that you could get the super size one for $1? I didn't question it at 13 years old, but looking back at 29, it's pretty rough to look back at how I kind of set myself up for failure.
They poisoned us, man. They did it to us. You know, that's how I view it. Not my fault.
I haven't had McDonald's in so long. I'm like kind of pissed about that. Like, there's no McDonald's out here.
There's one in Fishtown. I feel like that's...
Oh, trust me, I know. I know there's one in Fishtown. I've wanted to go, and it's like, is it worth taking the train? No, it's not worth taking the train to Fishtown for McDonald's. It's only 2 stops, though. It's only 2 stops.
You're in Philly now, man. You got to eat the cheesesteak instead of the Big Mac, right?
Yeah, let me get a $25 cheesesteak, yeah. I just want my 2 McDoubles for $4.50. That's all I want. Or it's even cheaper. It's like 2 for $3.50. You're
living in the past. I don't know if is that still the case?
I'm pretty sure the 2 McDouble combo is $5 or less still. Like that's a mix and match like McDouble McChicken kind of thing.
McDonald's is expensive, man. It's for the rich and famous now.
Yeah.
The real combos are the starting price is like $12 at this point, which is ridiculous. But I'm pretty sure there's still those buy one get one offers, or the mix and match type deals. Now, if this were to become a fast food podcast, I'm not saying I would be happier because I wouldn't. I'm not saying that I would be healthier because I wouldn't, but I would have McDonald's again, and that would be nice. That would be an excuse to go to McDonald's.
I was going to say, I feel like that's probably like top 5 subjects we're kind of qualified in as a group. Unfortunately, it's like we could probably do a really good fast food podcast.
We could shoehorn in like I don't know, someone picks The Founder or something like that, and then you're like, well, you gotta.
Well, I don't know. Do you guys remember like 3 months ago when I tried to do like a tasty cake segment on here, and you guys just trashed me the whole time?
There's no pre-production on that. I was just confused.
That's true. I did spring the tasty cake treat segment on you guys pretty hardcore.
That was
a bit of a...
It was like a radio prank.
That was a Trojan horse. I brought home those groceries from Wawa, and it was just a full-on prank inside. Speaking of pranks, Trash Humpers by Harmony Korine from 2009 is the film that we're talking about today. And when I think of a group of hooligans going around town pulling pranks, I think of movies like Jackass. I think of movies like this. But this is truly one of the strangest, worst feeling movies of all time. Harmony Korine created the worst vibe that's also nice to hang out in.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing with this and Gummo, kind of the hangout movie about the worst atmosphere you could possibly find in America, and finding the comedy and the grossness and weirdness in it, and the anti-aesthetic of the VCR approach is just so magical, and it evokes so much like bad memories of youth in America almost. You know, he shot it on old tapes and edited it on a VCR, so there's these weird jagged cuts in it and footage overlapping with other footage, and it's a really good way of evoking that like weird sense of haunted memories. And yeah, this is a strange movie.
It certainly is. I brought it to the table because I don't know. I remember watching this in like high school, probably. I was like very, very excited when I found out that this was a thing. But it was funny because I didn't. This might maybe the first Harmony Korine movie that I saw. I don't know. It was very early on. To tell you something about the type of young man I was like, oh, Trash Humpers. I was immediately excited about that premise, but then I was very disappointed at the lack of any type of story, and like it was too avant-garde.
You wanted them to fall
me.
in love with the trash.
I wanted to know. I wanted all the answers. But I knew I would probably take more kindly to it upon a second viewing. And just Trash Humpers, feels like they have a home here. They could be like on this podcast. One of them could just pull up a seat on the couch with us.
Yeah,
and they have like I don't know. They're just hanging out.
Well,
having
not
a fun...
at my house.
Yeah, no, of course. Of course.
If we recorded the podcast somewhere else.
Yeah,
maybe.
we met in like a nice, like maybe a third part, just empty.
Yeah,
like an empty
warehouse
home,
lot. Yeah,
or like a parking lot. Yeah, no, those boys. We'd have a hell of a time.
Well, JT, it's funny you say that. I brought a bag of trash here today that I'm gonna hump live on air. You know, just to get in the spirit of Trash Humpers. You know what I mean? Because I got Trash Humper fever after seeing this movie. No, I wish I had a bag of trash to pull from. That would have been a good prop. Yeah, it is with Trash Humpers, and like I feel like it is the lack of story is like something that like kind of people viscerally. I mean, well, first of all, you react to the image of the movie, right? When you first turn this thing on, you got, you know, these people in masks, you know, and I think they hump some trash pretty, you know, right away. You know, you saying as a young boy, JT, you know, you're excited on the premise of trash humping. You got it. You know what I mean? You did get the trash hump. That's something no one can take away from the movie. But it is kind of, you know, you have this curated VCR, you know, aesthetic, and it's, you know, we have people in masks humping trash, and like, you know, that type of stuff that maybe that goes further than that might go further to you as a watcher maybe than for some other people. And then it's kind of like, yeah, there's a lack of story, and although there is a little bit of something here, and like I feel like there is kind of a cohesiveness to the movie, but it's also something you could kind of just enjoy on like a scene to scene basis, but obviously not in a traditional sense. There's not like a, you know, beginning, middle, and end, obviously.
And I mean, I definitely like this time around, it's just like part of the fun in like there being like no narrative whatsoever is just like, I mean, Korine like talked about making the movie, like wanting to design it like, I don't know, it's just like a VHS tape you find, and then you just put it in, and then you're just like, you're like, I don't know, I feel like the concept of like a weird tape or a mysterious like CD that you discover, like when you find something like that, like a kid, like as a kid, you are just like filled with a world of possibility of like who made this, like even if it's something like just shitty, like banal, like you find just some like a mixtape on the side of the road.
Yeah.
It unlocks this world of mystery, and something like Trash Humpers, obviously trying to tap into that kind of feeling, you just sort of like, I don't know, your mind runs wild with the world outside of like what these Trash Humpers are doing, like what is like going on here. Like just I mean, obviously a lot of it is not particularly good, and there's like a very like, I feel like right away you're confronted with like a lot of like cynical meanness from them. But there are like weird moments of tranquility or humor or like even beauty that happen in the movie that I feel like come as a surprise.
I was reading about Harmony Korine's inspiration for the film, and aside from just walking around Nashville and seeing what he called very humpable trash cans,
Sometimes you're just walking around and you get, it's like trash day and you get a whiff on the block and you're just like, oh god, if everyone didn't have these high-tech security cameras at the front of their house now, who know what I'd do to these trash cans.
I mean, also
see, I'm not tapped into that, but I'm glad someone here is.
there's a lot of jerking off branches.
Yeah,
that's
well,
something that gets unsung.
He's like sucking off the tree in the beginning, one of them, which is just deeply disturbing. He's like, it's very unpleasant to watch. But he talks about the humpable trash cans because of, and this really comes through in the film, the way that the street lights hover over them. It looks like some sort of really dramatic Broadway lighting or something like that. And the no real lighting VCR camera approach is perfect for that because those super bright street lights shining down directly above a trash bin is like all you really need to see in this really, scuzzy, washed out image. The other thing he said that he was inspired by was when he was growing up, he was scared of the people who would work at Dunkin' Donuts, and then when they got off Dunkin' Donuts, they would cover themselves in dirt and mud and go peep in the neighborhood houses.
Damn.
And so this like childhood nightmare of the local peepers who were covered in dirt and mud and stuff like that, fused with this weird aesthetic fixation he has on these overlit trash cans is like a perfect synthesis for him to create this weird hangout vibe of this street gang who roams around with their weird masks on and humps trash and looks through neighborhood windows. And the peeping stuff is like very disturbing, honestly, like worse than anything else, just because it captures the snuff film feeling of it so well. The underlit like video camera stuff, and toward the end when that lady in the gang is like peeping in the window of a house before she goes in and steals a baby, it feels like real found footage. I don't know. Korine's able to pull off like a very lived in environment very well here. And from the title card, you just know it's going to be like a really harsh experiment, both visually and with content. And I don't know. There's a shot of a toilet in a public field, and the whole gang's just gathered around laughing at the toilet. And it's just like, this is horrifying. This is just like the most demented part of your brain being translated into a gang of like mentally deficient people who just choose to live their quote unquote free life in the outskirts of a neighborhood, near a big city. This is like taking place in Nashville, in the suburbs outside of Nashville, I guess. And yeah, I gotta say, this film made me miss parking lots in the suburbs.
Yeah, because they are having a lot of fun.
Having so much fun.
And it is. I feel like maybe whether you're going to be on board with this movie or not is whether you're kind of willing to find that fun, maybe a little bit infectious yourself. You know what I mean? Or like kind of, because you see a lot of negative reviews. It's like, if I hear one of these trash humpers squeal again, I'm gonna shoot my TV or something like that. And it's like they do some squealing, but they got their own little fun songs and whatnot. They got their limericks and whatnot. But
make it, don't fake it.
One of the biggest strengths of this movie is its kind of like ability to switch tones and kind of surprise you because, like you were talking about, Eddie, like when it goes for kind of the disturbing and scary, it could kind of do that very easily with what it has at its disposal with, it's masked people peeping through windows before they kidnap babies. But there is something kind of, I don't know, freeing, I guess, in their debauchery, even though as horrifying as it is. There's a, you know, it's a little bit of fun. I get, obviously they do some stuff, you know, that's just completely horrifying and objectionable, but it's kind of just this mix of kind of there being these kind of intense moments and then kind of like these boring or just kind of like anodyne type moments, and then just I don't know, I feel like you really do capture the stasis of what it means to be one of these people, one of these trash humpers. You get, you know, their boring moments, their scary moments, their fun moments. You know, you really at the end they, you know, they give their philosophy on the way they live their life, and I don't know, it's compelling stuff.
To speak to the way you're talking about tone shifting in the movie, I feel like using the medium like of tape, I feel like really helps there at certain points, because you're able to like I don't know, the image is so difficult to make out at times, where it's just like that in and of itself, like if you just get a little bit closer, it will like shift the perspective. There's one shot in particular that's like one of my favorite in the movie that initially appears to be one of the more beautiful moments, where it's like just you're seeing some like greenery, and I feel like that, like the very vibrant greens that come out and some of the outside stuff is, I don't know, is more pleasant to look at. And then there's obviously like something in the middle that you can't really make out, but then the closer you get to it, like the camera sort of moves in, and it's just like a slumped over body in this field, and it becomes immediately very just like disturbing and unpleasant. But like he's using that grainy, like shitty tape quality to achieve it. Kind of is like those like pointillist paintings where like if you get up real close to like the VHS grain, like you lose sight, you like it's just like all nonsense, but like you step back, you're able to like able to see something there.
It's something in between like impressionist paintings and seeing eye trick paintings.
Yeah. And that achieves a really cool effect for me, and I feel like it's part of the reason why he is able to dance between like, okay, like this is a moment where you're just like you're chilling with the boys, but then it gets a little like too dark and intense, and you're like, what are these trash humpers? Are my friends having a little bit of a nasty time here? They're getting into something unpleasant.
Well, also, yeah, with the medium, I think those auto tracking moments that pop up on the VCR and like the tape footage eating itself, it feels like a very natural way to escape certain scenes and hinge tonal shifts like really unexpectedly in a really fun way. That, yeah, I think this film exploits its own medium as well as almost any movie I can think of that's shot on like a weird format. You know, we've talked about these people being in masks, but I think the intent is that the tape grain or the tape decay is so bad and the quality is so bad and the lighting is so bad that we're supposed to maybe kind of even think this is what these people look like. You know, these are just like weird, fucked up people, but you could see the masks, you know, kind of coming off sometimes, and it's almost in between. And friend of the pod, Hard Mike, today was telling me that when he saw this, there was a Q&A with Korine, and someone asked if he had cast burn victims to play the main characters. Just like, what's up with these guys? Are they burn victims?
These guys look crazy, man. Where'd you find these guys? You know, it's kind of talking through this out, kind of, I feel like it's also kind of, you're right, like it like leans in and uses its medium. There's a lot of infatuation with like VHS images, like in like skate culture, and like maybe more recently kind of like rap videos and stuff like that. Like there's a kind of, you know, this obsession that's been going on maybe, you know, before and after this movie. And I don't know, I feel like it just it uses it in kind of the most intelligent way, you know, possible. And, you know, also this reminds me of stuff that came before. Like, it reminds me a lot of Trailer Park Boys. I feel like it has to be said. And kind of like the format of it is because, like, in addition to the Humpers, we got a cast of colorful characters that we meet along the way. And I feel like Trailer Park Boys, you know, one of its great senses where it gets a lot of its comedy is just like the Trailer Park Boys themselves just meeting all the different, you know, wacky characters in the trailer park. And it's no different here. We got a lot of different friends that the Trash Humpers have. And I don't know, a lot of those different scenes have a lot of things going on in all these scenes whenever they're linking up with friends, it seems like.
Yeah, one of my favorite friends of theirs is the guy who fancies himself a stand-up comedian.
Oh yeah. Is he just like saying it's like homophobic, or is it racist?
Well,
or some
it's all
mix?
of them. He
Okay.
kind of does them all, but like none of them are even real jokes. Like
The colored gentleman was laughing real hard at that. And two faggots walk into an old shop and say, where's that tire I asked to have fixed? And they say, you better watch it. We don't like your kind around here. You look like you want to suck a cock. You look like you want to suck on a fucking cock. Shut up! I'm trying to tell them. So there's two black guys, and they're like washing some white dude's car, and he's not looking, and they start soaping up each other's fucking asses and fucking each other. The neighbors can see out of the damn window. Did you get that whole thing? Did you?
It's pretty
though
good.
they're
joke.
all just losing it. Like it's like they're all on the porch just losing it. It's so funny. And then he has like a mini meltdown at the guy holding the camera, like, just thinking that he's, not laughing enough. I'm not even sure, but those scenes are so funny, just them entertaining themselves however they can. There's that one kid they find.
Oh, when they're hooping with the little kid in the suit.
Little kid in a suit just chucking air balls for 5 minutes straight is so good. And then it just like shows him destroying this baby doll with a hammer and just so psychopathically, but it's also very relatable. Like there was always kids who, tore the heads off of Barbies and stuff like that. Like those kids have always been around. And so Korine is just like unleashing this demonic version of it on us. It's really it's like a Harmony Korine's problem child, that kid just like mutilating this baby doll on camera.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of you bringing up the little stand-up performance mode, that really reminded me of the House of a Thousand Corpses, Grandpa going off like moment. And again, there's a lot of overlap there with why I love like Korine's films and zombies films in particular, and just like having that type of like crude sensibility here, and also like with Thousand Corpses in general, it's another thing where it's just like obviously characters doing like incredibly over the top like violent acts, and like sometimes you're a little disturbed by it, but I don't know, obviously you're along for the ride at points. The points where I feel like it's just like I'm just impressed that like you can make something that like, for I don't want to say like on board with them necessarily the entire time, but when they like take it too far, it's like really fucking disturbed. Like the I think the most disheartening thing is when they have like the plastic bag over the guy's head with the like birthday cake and the like little power drill there. I think it would be so easy to fuck this up and just make like a random kind of assemblage of just bullshit to like shock and mystify here. But here all the pieces are together to make it like just uniquely disturbing.
Yeah, the guy playing that one guitar riff over and over, and the camera just circling around with the lit birthday cake, and it's a very disturbing murder scene.
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, boy, go to sleep, boy, go to sleep, boy, go to sleep, go to sleep, boy, go to sleep. Come on, come on, come on, that's it. Dream, dream, dream. Come on, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, boy, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, boy, go to sleep. Come on, come on, come on. Go to sleep, boy. Come on, that's it. Sleep, 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 boy, sleep.
Yeah, and like a lot of the stuff in Trash Humpers, like it kind of has two things, right? Like kind of like the VHS quality kind of makes it seem like, oh, this could be real, like a tape I found. But also like it has like a nightmarish quality where it's like, these things are not straight up. Like the Trash Humpers, they like to, make the conjoined twins eat soap and pancakes and stuff like that. The strangeness to the Trash Humpers acts, really give it, a flavor. And what JT was talking about, how like you could easily make like a movie that's just kind of like random, and it's just like, gross stuff or whatever. I think some stuff, a movie that I've never seen fully, but I'm more aware of, is like the August Orange Underground tapes or something, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with these.
I don't think so. What is that?
They have like a reputation in kind of disturbing cinema. You know, these lists I used to look up as a kid of like
most fucked up movies.
Fucked up movies of all time. And I'm probably fucking up the title or something like that. But it's somewhat close to that. And it is
August Osage County?
Or I think I am. I might be conflating. It's like August fucking something, and like the director had like a dumb magician style name or something like that. But like from what I saw of those movies, it was just like VHS tapes of like, you know, disgusting shock value, a lot of like blood, vomit, crap type stuff. But I think what like Trash Humpers kind of I don't know, in giving you these other moments and kind of finding its own rhythm, it makes the scenes like you guys were talking about, like with the plastic bag, you know, and the birthday cake, it makes it more effective rather than these movies I can't remember, the August Orange County movies or whatever.
I think also it's notable that the main thing on the mind of the Trash Humpers is pure vandalism. Like they just want to destroy the town they're in. Like they're just going into parking lots and fucking shit up. And you know, there's a great pleasure to be taken in seeing people destroy a TV with a boombox and then also destroy the boombox afterwards.
And I mean, in those like broad strokes as well of like environment, like the fact that they're like destroying mostly like decayed technology. I mean, also this coming out in like 2009, and I feel like the situation of like a lot of like occupies a weird space of like urban and suburban, but like the amount of decay that has like advanced since then, I feel like it gives you like this particularly disturbing, just like fun, weird portrait of like an America that's like, I don't know, things like not like the Nashville like Walmart parking lots were ever bustling, or if that was that would be a particularly good thing. But you see all these places and spaces and just like empty like suburban environments that, I don't know, it just feels like just misery and decay.
Yeah, I mean, when the guy who wears a Confederate flag as a shirt is driving them around the neighborhood and talking about his own freedom, he talks about like how I can smell the pain of all these people. And the thing is, that's the whole tightrope walk of the movie, is that they might be horrible people, but Harmony Korine is pretty aware that this philosophy is probably one that is shared with the kind of people that like these movies. That like, maybe it's more polemical than something you could actually like enact, you know, but would you rather fuck around with your friends and steal equipment just to break it in the street and like steal shit all the time, or be a part of what contemporary American life is right now in the state of capitalism in 2009, you know? Yeah, obviously, we're not going to become trash humpers. We're going to just, like, suck it up and get a job. But that's the thing, is, like, the elusiveness of complete freedom in this state of America. And it's like, it's a tough pill to swallow when you realize those guys are having more fun than we are.
Yeah,
you know?
and I mean, it seems like he continues, obviously, later, like Spring Breakers, Beach Bum, to chase, like, similar ideas.
It's obvious that, you know, that's kind of the conflict at foot here. It's like, you know, what does it mean to be free in, like, American society? And it's like, this is Korine's, you know, the Trash Humpers, you know, are a great example of something, you know. Obviously, if you're rich, you could probably have maybe a better time than the Trash Humpers, but maybe, I don't know, maybe not. But it's, you know, what strikes me about this movie is that it's very similar to Gummo in a lot of ways. Like, very, very similar in that it's like, you know, we're following, like, you know, these kind of impoverished people in, like, a town, you know, a decayed town, and we're kind of following their lives in kind of a non-linear way. But as with Gummo, there's kind of like these more tendencies for maybe like more traditional, beautiful, artistic flourishes, you know what I mean? Which is kind of funny to say even for Gummo, but compared to Trash Humpers. But Trash Humpers just kind of, the characters in Gummo, they would do nasty things, right? Like they would, you know, like kill cats and shit like that. But here it's like it's kind of the interest he found in that stuff and the nastiness that kind of was an undercurrent through Gummo is kind of brought to the surface here, and it's kind of, you know, it feels just kind of like a full-on experiment in that. And I don't know, it's just a lot of Korine's movies feel kind of similar in a way when you kind of break it down and like what the characters are doing. So it's interesting. I'm glad he brought it to this VHS trash humper world, because I feel like it's truly feels like free of form and kind of just like a artistically challenging movie that, you know, is still kind of fun and trashy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you talking about with Gummo in particular, like the terrible things that the characters are doing, mixed with kind of a level of like aesthetic beauty. I think there's it's kind of similar, but like there's a moment of like juxtaposed scenes in Trash Humpers that stuck out to me. There's like a guy with a beard, and they're like on kind of like looks like something of like a highway overpass. Is the guy in the skirt?
Yeah.
Like, is it like a maid's out? Some reading like poetry or something. It feels like a stretch, like to call any of that beautiful, because it's kind of just sort of chaotic rambling, but it's someone musing towards a little bit something more. I don't know. I still am not sure what to make of the scene, but then you just immediately follow that up with he is dead in the floor in the next scene, like just the pool of blood by his head. Just them, I don't know. You get the little Trash Humper family portrait moment there too.
We created this lot for the ooze and the rot, deliberately and unabashed, whose orgastic elation and one mission in creation is to savagely fornicate trash! Suck it, don't fuck it! Suck it! Fornicating trash!
Yeah, I mean, I think an easy way to interpret that scene is kind of like, tell me if you disagree, but it's like kind of Korine is keeping the nastiness of this movie at the forefront. And like, I feel like there are maybe moments in Gummo where there's almost like poetic, like voiceover where it's like philosophizing about everything. And we only get that a couple times here with, you know, when he's riding through the suburbs, and then the scene JT's talking about where the guy kind of gives a poem about the movie, about the beauty, and, you know, we hump trash because society made us hump trash or whatever. And he's killed. It's kind of like, I don't know, Korine's kind of poo-pooing anyone who tries to put it in kind of put this movie in a poetic
like to speak to
box.
any beauty that exists in this world, it will only be like fleeting. Like even the moments of like that where I feel like the VHS quality is used to a more like, because sometimes he's just like following around the characters, but other times I feel like you capture like some interesting patterns with the lights. Like the one it's either the sunrise or the sunset where you see the big like sort of orange red at the bottom, but that's just there and gone.
Yeah. No, I feel like it's definitely an anti-aesthetic movie in a way. Like he's trying to make it as ugly as possible, and the film is from the point of view of one of the trash humpers holding the camera. You know, it's not like there's supposed to be a cinematographer and making it look nice.
True.
But yeah, of course, Korine is always going to find that beauty in anything because he just has good aesthetic reflexes. Like the very end is probably the most, I don't know, hard to watch thing, because it's that woman stealing the baby, and then at the end she's just walking under that spotlight, you know, the dramatic Broadway humpable lighting, as he said. But she's like singing to the baby in the carriage, and it's, I don't want to say it's moving, but you buy into the sadness of the character, at least. Like this horribly depraved addict, weird masked character just stole a baby after spending a whole movie, you know, destroying baby dolls, and is like singing very tenderly to it. And there's a good chance that baby's going to be dead in the next 20 minutes probably if we know anything about these trash humpers. But there's a 1% chance that maybe that seeing baby face to face almost changed that woman. But
that baby becomes the boy bricking, just like
the everlasting cycle of trash humping.
I like how the movie kind of kind of deflates towards the end. You know what I mean? It doesn't like build up to something. It kind of like I feel like I've noticed this time towards the back end of the movie, there's like multiple times where the trash humpers are like, just turn off the camera or whatever, you know what I mean? Or like kind of like just like it seems like the enthusiasm of the trash humper who's recording the movie kind of like wanes over time, and then we kind of we get kind of a non-conclusion with the baby being stolen, and you know maybe he's the next king trash humper. You know, we don't know what happens to that.
It's a
baby.
sacrifice.
Maybe they cook him for a little bit of stew. We don't know, but it's a sacrifice. But it's I think that's a good move, and it kind of matches what's going on in the movie. I like the kind of like the deflating of everything.
I saw this once on, I think, 16 millimeter, because, you know, it was produced at a time where you still had to strike a print for theatrical engagement. So I saw this a while back, and yeah, the combination of the film grain and the VHS decay created one of the strangest images I've ever seen, honestly. It was like seeing this on a print with all of the VCR decay blown up to like, you know, over 100 feet. Like it was at the Egyptian, that huge screen.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
It was one of the strangest theatrical images I've ever seen in my life. That was a double feature with Spring Breakers on 35 that night. That was very fun. Horrible Q&A in between.
Of course.
Harmony Korine's a hard guy to get a good Q&A out of. Like, I'll give him that. It's like you got to be David Letterman to be entertaining with Harmony Korine, and even then it's like completely hostile, you know.
Yeah, also the fans, you know, as much of a Harmony Korine fan I am, I could imagine some pretty embarrassing fan questions.
Yeah,
or
I'd rather
like
the trash
that,
humpers just ask questions themselves. That would be
or answer them.
Exactly.
Get that trash pussy.
Get that trash pussy is the worst phrase ever said in this movie.
Yeah, get that trash pussy.
God, yeah, I mean, I really, if you haven't seen it, I can't overstate how much of this film is just like people using public objects to masturbate. But the thing is, it's not even like really like they're not getting into it. They're kind of like as a kid pretend masturbating.
Yeah, no, they're not even like unzipping their pants or anything. They're just like most of it is just like
pretending a tree branch is their dick sometimes. Even. Like I don't even.
These aren't trash fuckers. They're trash hunters.
There is the one shot though of the guy who wears the Confederate flag very tenderly fucking a tree. And I'm pretty sure he does unzip for that. That one is pretty insanely gross.
You mentioned the Confederate flag. It reminded me of a racist moment in the movie with the conjoined twins through the head.
Yeah, who just wear a big hat together, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. And they tell the story of Aang and Chang.
Oh yes,
who it's you know, these sock puppets that they do, you know, racist Asian voices, and they're the Aang and Chang are conjoined twins, much like, you know, the brothers themselves, or, you know, fake conjoined twins, and it's like they're like, tell us a story, you know, to the twins, are like, tell us a story to make us laugh, and you know, Aang and Chang, you got the racist voices, so they're laughing at first, and then it's like they need to separate from each other or else they'll die, you know, in this story, Aang and Chang, and it just gets depressing.
Oh yeah, the trash humpers are disappointed. They're like, that was sad.
That was fucking sad as hell.
Get that one guy who tells jokes.
I'm Chang, and together we are Aang and Chang. We are very famous freak show performers. We are very, very rich.
And it just reminds me of kind of like, you know, not that I'm a trash humper myself, but I don't know, sometimes just going out throughout life, like I just love kind of like
racist comedy.
Not the racist, the racist stuff people will tell me because I'm a white guy and they think I won't, you know, I won't wag my finger at it. No, I mean maybe a little bit, but like kind of just like the strange stories that you hear from like kind of like, I don't know, older people,
more out there people,
more out there people, and like I don't know, like. I feel like the stories I hear, like they always surprise me. They're always like two-toned. Like it's not just like it'll be a story about like sexual conquests when they were your age or whatever, and then it somehow ends like kind of weird and depressing, and them talking
Or just
about
like
their ex-wife.
something that happened at the store. Like we get some of that in this movie. It's just like, yep, told the manager at the store to fuck off, and the colored guy, he thought that was funny. It's like, what is this person's life that they're just like
that was their one interaction for the day, that store. So I feel like it captures kind of that in a very specific way that I haven't seen movies really try to attempt to.
Definitely. It reminds me a little bit of Bully, which we talked about a long time ago, just with like the aimlessness of suburbia. And I feel like the aimlessness and recklessness of suburbia, like I imagine now, Malcolm, I think back to my days in Santa Clarita going to community college there, and I could totally see that being like the 21st century version of a sundown town is that like at night trash humpers come out, and I feel like Santa Clarita is one of those towns in California. It's like just far enough away from Hollywood where there's like definitely some ex-performer weirdos humping trash and peeping at night in the suburbs of Santa Clarita.
Somewhere in the canyon country.
Yeah, exactly.
Deep in the canyon country.
They're taking Via Princesa all the way and destroying baby dolls.
Because there's a certain part in Santa Clarita that's just like very hollow suburban. Like if someone was humping trash, within 3 minutes the cops would be there to kill them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So you got to find kind of like the backwoods part of Santa Clarita for that. But I think they're out there, you know what I mean? I think I got to stay alert,
Yeah.
for these guys.
As I said, this movie just made me miss parking lots. I know. It's just, as a teen, as a reckless teen, anything could happen in a suburban parking lot. Your wildest dreams could come true.
The kind of like the aimlessness and kind of like driving around and just being in a parking lot for no reason.
I mean, how did that one trash humper have a car? That's what I want to know. Even if he stole it, how does he put gas in that thing? Like,
I bet they.
Yeah, they probably hump the gas tank first.
True, it is like, how do these trash humpers get money? All these trash humpers are
I think
secret
they
rich
steal
kids?
everything. They have to just be squatters who steal everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. These are the only, like, like you hear people living like a crust punk lifestyle. Mm-hmm. It's like, that's not respectable. Like, if you're really doing it, you have to, I don't know.
Hump
you got to be
trash.
like the trash humpers, you know what I mean? You got to be debaucherous.
I've seen some of these Portland street trash out here. It's like they're too self-serious. You got to hump some trash. Some of these Antifa Portland street thugs. Hump some trash. Have a little fun.
My message to Antifa. No.
Stop digging through the trash looking for recyclables to save the earth. Have a little fun with the trash. Find a nice crevice. So yeah, I don't think this is Harmony Korine's best movie or anything. I think it might be his most audacious. Like it's hardest to watch in a good way. There's definitely ones I like it more than, even if I say it's his hardest to watch. It accomplishes what it's going for really well, and it exploits its medium as well as you can. I'm still kind of tentative though, and just because it's like so right down the barrel one note, and it's only 74 minutes because of that, but it kind of leaves a little bit to be desired, but it's also like, what the fuck else do I want from this movie? I'm going 3.5 bullets on this one. It is very strong. JT?
Yeah, I'm going 4 bullets for the trash humpers. Just straight right into the air, and then just all go join them humping some trash. And I don't know, returning to this, just very rewarding, because I knew with time I had grown to appreciate their lifestyle. That as a young man, you're so set in your ways, thinking about going to university, going to college, getting a degree, fitting in with the bourgeoisie. But you just realize, wouldn't life be so much simpler if I just gave it all up put on a nice polo shirt and just fucked a big black bag of my neighbor's trash.
There should be like a Boudu Saved from Drowning type movie about a trash humper getting together with some like corporate Nashville guy, like someone who owns some like country rock bar, linking up with a trash humper, taking him in, you know, and he's like, the trash humper's fucking my wife again.
Thinking of something like a Salt Life, but a trash life kind of a...
This movie's perfectly, like, you know how, like, I never even saw Clerks, but it's like there's like Clerks the animated series, and like you know, I feel like this is perfect, ready for the movie merch game and like the franchising game. Like we could get a little Trash Humpers cartoon, Trash Humper Funko Pops, like, you know, A24, you know, or Neon, get on this. I think this is a cash cow.
I think that's a Neon exclusive right there.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about the scene where they get 3 prostitutes in a hotel room. How do they afford that?
I was going to bring that up with the money.
I mean, they did not look very pricey, mind you, but like, I don't know how that happens.
Maybe they're on just like disability or something. I don't know. You know,
That's true. They could be on disability, but also maybe those prostitutes are like their homies too. Like they might just be part of the crew.
They do kind of hang out a little bit, but you don't see them.
Because we only see one of them actually do anything sexual. They're just like hanging out with the prostitutes and slapping their butts.
Yeah,
it's very childish.
It is. Yeah, it is. It feels very like it's like a video. I mean, since it is from the perspective of a trash humper, it does give off the vibe of like them showing off, like something you'd see on like a Instagram story or something of a famous rapper, but in a nicer location, I guess.
I remember this one kid I went to high school with that rapped. We found each other online again like 5 years ago probably, and we were never like close friends or anything, but I followed him on Twitter for a while, and I just remember him posting a video of like a stripper's ass bouncing up on him, and the caption was "all dat as AZZ."
Nice. See?
Yeah. I was just like, I guess this is what a young aspiring rapper like wants to show himself as on Instagram or Twitter. It was rough.
You pull out the money and then you pull out the phone right after. It's like, I gotta capture this. Not worth it if no one else sees this.
It's like at a concert. Put your phone away.
Live in the moment, man.
Enjoy the moment. Feel that trash.
Speaking of,
you know,
these trash humpers, none of them are on their phones. Get off your phone. Hump some trash.
True. Bill Maher would love this movie. This is what he wants the kids of America doing instead of being
None of them are complaining about gender. None of them are on their phones.
Because I read some of the negative reviews for it, because this movie, you know, it's funny that this movie got reviewed so much too. Like, it's kind of like maybe Owen Gleiberman could sit this one out, you know? But they reviewed it, and like there's like a tone where it's like Harmony Korine like thinks he's so artistic with this crap. Like, I know real subversive art. I know real, you know, blank, and like this is just boring, belabored metaphor or whatever. And it's, I don't know, like obviously part of the making of the movie, I think, not to dismiss everything, but part of it is also to kind of get that reaction. Like, this is playing at a film festival and some critic just walks in and they're like, oh shit, no, they're just humping trash. This is really trash humpers. Like, I do enjoy the slight novelty of that, kind of just it being an insane movie that seemed like a lot of publications sent their mainstream critic
just
out
tasteless
to review.
provocation in that sense is always fun.
It's always fun, but I'm gonna give it 4 bullets, just because it is like, I think it does deserve some artistic props, and it's kind of funny that right after this, Korine has like Spring Breakers, the biggest hit of his career, and like I think he's consciously talked about like after Trash Humpers he wanted like to push his aesthetics in like a pop direction, kind of like a, you know, with Spring Breakers and Beach Bum, obviously those are like very visually, you know, a lot of neon, a lot of stuff. I mean, with Spring Breakers particularly, I feel like Spring Breakers kind of set off the neon craze that happened throughout the 2010s. But it is kind of funny because it's like with Gummo, Julian Donkey Boy, and this movie Trash Humpers, I think he's gotten as ugly as he could get, right, while remaining artistic. Like, he really kind of explored the depths of like aesthetic ugliness. And, you know, after that, he makes Spring Breakers. It's just such a turn. And yeah, I really, I don't know. I feel like Korine, he's someone I'm always going to look to, even if he's making like AI movies or something like that. Even if like I'm reading like Edgelord and it's like, I don't know what, is he making video games now or something? Like, I don't quite get that. It's like, I'll give it a watch just because I feel like one, like he's just so aesthetically forward first and foremost, you know what I mean? Like his movies look great. He has great instincts that are in display in this movie Trash Humpers. And like, yeah, I don't know. I just like his attitude and, you know, I'll always like Korine. I feel like every time we review a Korine movie, I do like a preemptive Korine defense as if he's not a popular filmmaker.
Have we reviewed one of his movies before?
We did Mr. Lonely.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and we talked about Spring Breakers on our like best of the decade episode. I'm sure.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't think we've done a proper Spring Breakers episode, which would be nice to do.
That'd be fun.
Coming up on 10 years.
Yeah,
or it's been 10 years.
It's been 10.
Holy shit!
Coming up on 20. No.
Well, let's not age me too hard here. I can't believe I missed the boat on Spring Breakers 10th anniversary posting. It probably just came and went like every other stupid anniversary. People only like watching old movies when it's their birthday. It's like, watch a movie when it didn't come out. Spring Break, you know, it's like fucking Click 17 years later. It's like you could just say that Click is a movie that came out, you know?
That's something that truly exists just for like a way to get people to click on articles.
Yeah,
you know
it's a
what
pure
I mean?
clickbait drive. But it's funny that every single film publication does that. Like, that is the only way.
It must work. It must work.
Oh, it must work. Yeah, because for like 5 years now, it's been the only way that any film publication, online or print, will talk about an old movie. Will be like, super bad. 27 years old now. It's like, all right, we could just talk about movies that were good. That's like the whole point of this podcast is we'll talk about whatever movie from whenever. This movie came out in 2009. Who cares if it was like fucking, oh great, sorry guys, this movie's actually only 14 years old. I wanted a nice round 15th year anniversary, so maybe methinks we'll do a 2008 movie next time.
We're ahead of the curve. Just next year when we see all these fucking bullshit like Trash Humpers at 15, like
Trash Humpers at 15, that sounds like a real subversive movie.
Yeah, just know we got there earlier, 14 and a half, you know? We were there early.
We're not going to do Malcolm in the Middle this week because everything I've been watching has been catch up for our year-end episode. So we're going to end a little early this time around. But look, Trash Humpers is barely 60 minutes. So, you know, you're not going to get a long episode out of us this time. But, first of all, as always, donate to the Patreon. If you're listening to this and you're not already a member of the Patreon, go check it out. The link's in the description. It's wherever you find your podcasts. It's very easy to sign up for the Patreon for $5 a month and get an extra episode every week. Next time you hear from us, it will be for, finally, our best films of 2023 episode. The episode will be 2 parts. It will be split between the Patreon and the main feed. Unlike the last time we did a 2-parter like that, I'll release them together as one at some point midweek next week. So you can have the whole countdown that'll be like 2+ hours if you want to, or you could space it out. You know, some people like to space it out. What's it called? Edging?
Yeah.
Gaping?
Gaping?
Well, I said space it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Space it. Oh, you mean spread? You meant spread. Spread it out. Yeah, that's what you meant.
I heard about this pace and space revolution in basketball, and I was like, all right, I got to sign up for League Pass. This sounds crazy.
Yeah, you just think space and spread are the same word to you. Like, you know, that's how you register in your mind.
I heard about some of these Big 12 offenses running the spread. I was like, holy shit. They got 22 guys out there.
Why haven't I ever heard Scott Van Pelt make a spread joke? You know, come on, that's innuendo enough. How are we the first ones to come up with spread humor?
Calling a quarterback a spread merchant is really good too. Like every Texas Tech quarterback, just like, yeah, he's kind of a spread merchant if you think about it.
Spread.
That's gonna do
Make
it.
sure
I
to
hate
spread
that.
while you watch the episode or listen. Sorry.
So we'll do our best of the year next time, and that's it. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
And be nicer to me on Twitter. Come on, guys. It's like I like movies. That's the main thing. I'm just gonna get this in here. Anytime I post a review that's like less than 3 stars of a new movie, everyone gets all mad and they're like, I bet this guy doesn't even like movies. That's why I don't like that movie, is because I like movies so much that I want every movie to be good. I've seen the best that movies can do. I want every movie to do that.
I'm sure the haters that have made it 50 minutes into the episode,
the real haters.
Yeah, exactly. I think they might turn the other cheek.
Well,
I'll make that like the clickbait title of the
of course.
episode. It'll be a 58-minute video that says Eddie addresses the haters.
Yeah.
This sometimes, it sounds like you might be addressing something, but sometimes something could be just a prayer, and that was Eddie's prayer out to the
Eddie's
film
prayer.
community. You know what I mean? They may not consciously take it in, but they might be subconsciously through the film gods taking that in. Let's hope that it works.
My prayer. I think that's going to be the needle drop for the end of this episode. All right, guys, we'll see you next time.
When the twilight is gone and no songbirds are singing, when the twilight is gone, you come into my heart, and here in my heart you will stay while I pray.
A lot of girls think that my gigantic pecker is a plus. But you know something? They never seem to jack me off.
At the end of the day, in a dream that's divine,
Make it, don't fake it, make it, god damn it, make it, don't fake it, make it, don't fake it, make it, god damn it, don't fake it. Come on, bitch.
With the butter and lies. With butter and lies, butter and lies, butter and lies, butter and lies, butter and lies.
Free people. You know, we choose to live like the people should live. I don't follow no rules on Sunday. I don't eat no pies on Monday. I don't play no games on Tuesday. I don't cry myself to sleep on Wednesday. It's all just, I don't know, one long game, I guess you could call it.